When the person you've shared decades with is suddenly gone, everything changes. Your home feels too quiet, your bed too large. The silence becomes deafening, and somewhere in the middle of grieving, people start asking you to make decisions, big ones. Sell the house, move closer to family, update the will, transfer accounts. Sign here, do this. Agree to that. But here's what they don't tell you: grief is the worst time to make life-altering decisions. Because when you're vulnerable, exhausted, and broken, you're more likely to say yes to things you'll regret for the rest of your life. What starts as a small choice, out of convenience, guilt or fear, can lead to financial hardship, emotional damage, and deep regret. And the people urging you forward, sometimes they mean well, but sometimes they don't understand, or worse, they're thinking about their interests, not yours. This video isn't about fear. It's about protection. It's about awareness. And it's about making sure that in your most fragile moments, you don't unknowingly give away your peace, your power, or your future. If you've recently lost your spouse, or if you're preparing for the road ahead, this is for you. There are 4 costly mistakes that so many make after loss. And once you see them, you'll understand why they are so dangerous and how to avoid them with strength and clarity. This is your life, your story. And even though the chapter has changed, you still hold the pen. Let's begin. Number 1, the house isn't just brick and wood. Don't rush to sell your home. After losing a spouse, the house feels heavier. Every room whispers memories. His slippers by the bed, her favorite chair by the window. It's natural to want to run from that pain. And that's why so many people make the first big mistake. They sell the home too soon. You'll hear it from friends, family, even professionals. It's too much space now. You don't need the upkeep. You should move in with us. But here's the truth. That house isn't just a house. It's a physical memory bank. It's safety. It's your last shared space with someone you deeply loved. Grief creates urgency. It makes us believe that changing our surroundings will change how we feel. But that's not how healing works. Selling your home in the middle of emotional chaos often leads to regret. You may not get the value you deserve. You may choose a new place that doesn't feel like home. And you may later realize you needed more time to say goodbye. Psychologists often talk about transitional grief. It's the stage where your heart is still adjusting to the new reality. In this phase, big decisions become dangerous because they're not based on clarity. They're based on escape. Instead, give yourself space. Delay the sale. Wait 6 months, a year, or longer if needed. Reclaim parts of the house. Redecorate a room. Make it your own again. Let the memories settle into something softer. The home doesn't have to be a prison of pain. With time, it can become a tribute, a sanctuary where healing begins, not ends. And if eventually you do decide to move, let it come from peace, not pressure. Because when your decision is rooted in calm wisdom, not reaction, it becomes a step forward, not a retreat. Number 2, guilt is not love. Don't give away your inheritance in a fog of emotion. After loss, many people, especially older widows and widowers, stopped giving things away: money, jewelry, property. It begins with the desire to make things easier or to help the kids now, not later. But here's what's rarely said out loud. Guilt can make you give away everything you've built. Maybe you feel like you don't need it anymore. Maybe someone suggests it's time to distribute the estate. Or maybe deep down, you think that by giving, you're keeping your spouse's memory alive. But if you act on guilt, not clarity, you risk undermining everything you and your partner worked for. There are countless stories of elderly parents giving away large portions of their assets, only to find themselves financially vulnerable, dependent on others, or even exploited. You might think, my children would never do that. And maybe they wouldn't, but people change. Money changes people, and when you remove your safety net, you also remove your ability to make decisions freely. Your inheritance was meant to be your safety cushion, a reflection of decades of hard work and shared sacrifice. Giving it away too soon, especially during emotional turbulence, can create deep regret, family tension, and personal struggle. Instead, pause. Talk to a trusted financial advisor. Consider creating a living trust. Establish boundaries. And remember, generosity is beautiful, but it must come from a place of strength, not sorrow. Protect your future first, your peace, your needs. Because when you're secure, anything you choose to give will come from love, not fear, not pressure, and definitely not guilt. And your spouse? They'd want you taken care of, not stripped of everything you both built just to please others or prove your love. Love isn't proven through sacrifice. It's honored through wisdom. Number 3, signing without thinking. The quiet. Dangers of legal traps after loss. In the haze of loss, when your mind is clouded and your heart is in pieces, one of the most dangerous mistakes you can make is this: signing documents too quickly. It might be a power of attorney, a will revision, a property deed, or even a financial agreement. And it usually comes at the worst time, when you're vulnerable, exhausted, and desperate for clarity in a world that suddenly feels unfamiliar. You're told it's just a formality, just a signature, just some paperwork to get things moving. But behind that pen are consequences that can last for the rest of your life. There have been countless cases where surviving spouses unknowingly signed away partial or full ownership of assets, gave full control of their finances to someone else, or altered long-standing legal protections simply because they trusted the wrong person or were too emotionally drained to question the timing. Even well-meaning relatives or friends may suggest legal shortcuts, thinking they're helping. But unless every move is reviewed by someone impartial and trained in elder law, you could be walking into a legal trap with no easy way out. Grief is not the time for quick decisions. It's the time for slow, deliberate thought. If someone pressures you to sign something fast, that should be a warning, not a comfort. Before signing any document, no matter how simple it seems, consult a trusted elder, law attorney, or a financial fiduciary. Take notes. Ask questions. Postpone if you must. Your future deserves patience. Your voice still matters. And your decisions, now more than ever, need to come from a place of calm reflection, not emotional urgency. A signature is small, but the consequences of a rushed one can be lifelong. Don't let your grief write a contract your heart hasn't read. Number 4, isolating yourself. When silence becomes the real enemy. There's a moment after loss when everything becomes still. The phone stops ringing. The visitors fade. The casseroles stop arriving at your door. And in that silence, something dangerous begins to grow. Isolation. At first it feels like rest, like space, like peace. But slowly it transforms. The TV becomes your only conversation. Days blur into weeks. You stop answering calls. Stop attending church. You tell yourself, I'm just not ready. And that becomes the new normal. But here's what few people talk about. Isolation can kill faster than grief. Multiple studies show that loneliness, especially in the elderly, leads to faster cognitive decline, weakened immune function, and increased risk of heart disease and depression. And the worst part, it often creeps in disguised as comfort. You tell yourself you're honoring your spouse by staying in, by not changing anything. But they wouldn't want you fading into silence. They would want you to live. Living doesn't mean forgetting. It means rebuilding a little at a time. Join a group, volunteer, invite someone over for coffee. Get back into a small routine. Speak your spouse's name aloud. Share stories about them. Laugh, cry. Let others witness your journey. Because healing is not a solitary path. We are wired for connection. And when you cut off those lifelines, you're not protecting yourself. You're slowly disappearing. Don't let grief shrink your world into a single room. You may have lost your partner, but you are still here. You are still needed. And the life you have left deserves more than just survival. It deserves meaning. Step outside. Speak up, connect. Not because it's easy, but because it's right. Conclusion: losing a spouse changes you. There's a part of you that will never be the same again. And that's okay. That part held love. It held years of laughter, struggle, joy, and memories no one else will fully understand. But what you do now, what you choose in the aftermath, matters more than ever, because the world keeps moving. And while it may feel like time has stopped for you, it hasn't. Every decision, every signature, every conversation you do or don't have is shaping the rest of your life story. So remember the 4 mistakes we've talked about today. Don't rush to sell the home that anchors your heart. Don't give away your legacy out of guilt. Don't sign away your power without clarity. And above all, don't isolate yourself into silence. This chapter of your life will be different, but it is not over. And the best way to honor your spouse isn't to fade away. It's to live on, wisely, with dignity, courage, and purpose. Let your pain be the soil where wisdom grows. Let your loss become a reason to protect your future. And most importantly, never let grief make decisions for the version of you that's still healing. If this video spoke to you, I invite you to subscribe. Share this with someone you love, or just leave a comment and tell us your story. You're not alone, because even in loss, there is strength. And even in silence, there is still a voice, yours, that deserves to be heard.